You all wake early the next morning. The sun's rising. Jacob's already awake. Wyatt, believe it or not, is stirring a little bit. Zoom still nice and sleepy. Talel, Jin, and your newfound friend, Fenaria, is that all three of them are currently awake, sitting on top of the moss, just having conversation back and forth. She's the Fenaria is kind of sunbathing. She's not like out lounging, obviously, but something about the sun is nurturing and seems to be aiding her. Already she's starting to look a little bit healthier just by sitting in the morning rays.
I'll ask Talel if she wants any more honey before I just like go up and offer it to her, because a lot of honey could be a little bit. But I mean, I don't know what she likes and what's good for her, so I just want to ask before I shove a thimble of honey in her face.
Yeah, so you try and get Talel to come over to where you are, or you go over and approach them.
I like wave him over because I don't want to like be all up in her personal business for now.
He does fly over, which automatically, as he gets ready to take a few steps, he just shakes his head and flies over.
Can I like just kind of see his wing a little bit? Does it look like it's holding? Just making sure. Looks like
it seems to be holding. It seems to be. You can't. You've seen him up close for an extended period of time, so you know generally where the tear was, and other than the faintest of scars, just barely on the tip, which almost looks like he might have gotten it years and years and years ago when he was a child. He flies over. Yes. Can I help you?
I was just wondering if she wants any more honey, but I didn't want to because I know that was kind of a loss.
Certainly you could ask her. We've spent quite some time speaking with her, and she seems to relatively understand the current situation.
What's her name again?
Fenaria.
How do you spell that, Madison?
Fynaria. Fenaria.
Cool.
She was meaning to introduce herself to everyone. We've been talking for most of the morning.
Chatty.
Jen is a lot better at the whole morning thing. I'm used to the mornings, not necessarily a morning person. At any rate.
I like the mornings, but I like quiet mornings.
Flies back over.
She's currently like sunbathing, eyes closed type deal, or like looking
No,
around?
just every once in a while, just closing eyes, looking in the directions of the two suns, and then we'll go back to conversing with everybody.
Nora's looking for that quill. She's like, where's the quill?
I'm like making tea, and I have the honey out, and I'm just debating on whether or not to like ask her for now. Think about it.
All right. Nora, you do end up finding the quill, and as you pull it out, you're amazed that you didn't really notice before, but it's this violet leading into this blue quill. This a feather. Make a nature check.
It's a nature.
So what?
19.
19. You are familiar with various animals when it comes to the Feywild, when it comes to all of these different areas. What was that you said, Talavin?
I won't say nothing. I just
Or what did she say? Or else I'll give you
I
disadvantage.
didn't hear what she said.
I
Uh,
I don't know.
mm.
Just didn't think.
Mm-hmm.
I'm allowed to have sneaky suspicions. She gets them all the time. I only get them on occasion.
As you further inspect this particular feather, it's not a feather. Touch along the edges, you feel it. It's leathery. It's been cut and shaped to look like a feather. This violet going into blue, at first glance seems indeed like some kind of feather, but this is actually some kind of leather, some kind of hide.
Okay.
It hasn't been dyed, it hasn't been colored from what you can tell. I mean, usually there's some kind of indication of when fabrics have been tampered with. This is natural.
So Nora wouldn't know any creature with vibrant hide like that?
You said you had a 19?
Yep.
There are a few creatures in the Feywild that would have coloration like this. Your name escapes you at the moment. There's just something about it that just seems odd.
Okay. Just gonna think about it.
Roll an investigation check.
18.
18. On the very, very edges, as you're looking at it, touching it, inspecting it, your hand brushes over part of the end. There's something on your fingers. Grab your fingers together, look at it in the light, and it's glistening. And blow it off, and a bit of dust.
Glistening dust. Looking at it again, does it look like the dust is what, like native to the leather, or if it was added to it later?
Make another nature check.
That's cocked. That's cocked. That's not cocked. I don't know what I'm doing. 8.
It's hard to tell. There are a lot of really interesting creatures, especially in the Feywild, that may or may not produce some kind of dust. But with your passive perception and Talavin, you would also pick this up. When you're sitting far enough away where you're inspecting it, not away from the group, but you're not close to anybody. When you pick it up and start inspecting it and just twiddling it around in your fingers, feeling it, touching it, Fenaria seems very uncomfortable.
I'm gonna take it back and put it in a bag. Oh, I bet it's her dust. I bet it's her pixie dust that he put on there. But Nora probably doesn't know that. Never mind.
Gonna roll an intelligence check.
Let's roll an intelligence check. Nora can be smart on occasion. Very smart. Okay. 21.
21? That seems like a logical jump. As you were looking at it, it did have this light green tint to it.
At some point, I guess, well, after she makes breakfast and everybody's eating, she wants to pull out that journal that she found in the bed.
Right, you pull out your journal that you managed to procure, and these are just different elements. Some of it is written in common. You recognize dates, you recognize times or relative times of the day of Targarius High, Una High, these different times of day. Then there are just other elements where you see it's common, and you start reading through some of the words, and the sentence doesn't make sense. The elements, the abbreviations don't make sense. So you start combing through, trying to piece together any element that you can. Go ahead and roll an intelligence check.
That stinks. 21.
21. Taking some time in the morning as everybody else is packing up, gathering up their things, rolling up the canvas, you're taking that extra moment to yourself, combing through this book, and you see that there are similar abbreviations in different areas. And so you begin flipping between the pages back and forth, just trying to learn and glean elements of the code. One that eventually ends up standing out is essentially translates to people. BDI is the abbreviation. You come back through and you pick up wood, pick up tools. Then there's another element that you're not sure. It's a word that you don't necessarily recognize, but you keep seeing it over and over and over again, kind of mentioned here, mentioned there, mentioned there. It's in different areas, and you're just having a hard time with this particular word, but you are picking up where it is, and it seems that it's not being brought up. That's the other element, is you start picking up all of these things are being moved up. This one particular thing, whatever it is translated, you just need more time with it, is being transferred back. You just need more time. This is like of an hour or so of you just combing through, flipping through the pages. Yeah, all 5 of your fingers are kind of pressed in the book as you're going through, looking at each individual page, and then look. Don't look at me like that. Everybody does it.
Oh, I do it all the time.
Oh, totally.
All the time.
Yeah, everybody. No, I'm looking at the internet. The internet. Don't look at me like that. Everybody does it. Everybody knows. You stick your fingers, all your fingers in the book if you've got multiple things that you're trying to look at simultaneously.
100%.
You also pick up on some of the other elements, which include abbreviations for human. One that you eventually figure is half of what, you're not quite sure, but it translates to half. And that's when everybody's pretty much packed up. They'd be waiting, or they'd be waiting for you to finish up if you spend any more time.
Yeah, that's fine for now.
Regrettably, you pull your fingers from the pages and close it.
Back into the bag of holding.
As you...
Cool.
Well, once again, mount up on your horses and head off. Travel for another full day's journey. At camp again that night. Relatively uneventful day. Your stalking eyes aren't following you on the way back.
Just in case I could see Jasper again, I'd fall asleep with the book and the quill.
I also fall asleep with the journal.
But like,
Oh, can I at dinner? Can I after dinner for a little bit? Can I try to figure out? I'm gonna spend a little bit of time and see if I can figure out that whatever that was that I couldn't figure out, whatever was being brought back.
Make an intelligence check.
Oh, intelligence is slow. 20.
Tainted 20?
Tainted 20, yes, not the natural.
Tainted 20? See it probably about 50 or so times.
Damn.
And this, whatever this word is, it's just stumping you. It's not something that's, but whatever it is, it's just not in your vocabulary.
my check?
Yeah.
Yes. I mean, you could ask Nora for help.
Okay. Come here.
Nora? What is it?
I can't figure out this fucking word. It's in code. I know you had a journal. Did you,
you
figure
found-
anything out with yours? I can't
Let
figure
me
it out.
see. There was a code in my journal, and I rolled a natural 20 for intelligence earlier yesterday. So Nora will take the book and
All 5 of my
See?
fingers are still like.
see if she knows what's going on.
But you have to like rotate your hands to get in there.
So BDI was the...
Stood for people.
Yeah.
Okay, BDI stood for people. Okay. So intelligence roll? Right?
With advantage because I'm helping her.
Sure.
Isn't that nice? And it's just a check.
Yeah.
It's just a check.
Hey, my intelligence saving throw is pretty good.
Oh. 15.
15?
That was a natural 20.
Boo!
Aww. Both of you are just begin crowding around this slightly tattered around the edges brown leather book, looking at each time whatever this thing is referenced, looking at it, trying to make sense of all of these things.
Is the handwriting different than the one than my book?
Yes, very different. You don't even need to roll for that. Yes, it is very different.
Oh. Oh.
However,
My book was whoever was staying there. Your book was from the dude, one of the prisoners.
Mm-hmm.
They're not even the same. There's not even the same code.
Mm-hmm. Well, they could have confiscated the book or something and just kept it in a different place. Perhaps. What's the word that we can't figure out? Is it just like scribbles or something?
whatever. All have been pretty meticulous in trying to figure out what the different codes are, trying to reference it within the book. This, whatever this is, does not have a primary reference in the text itself.
Okay.
And just going through, trying to unscramble the letters, trying to rearrange things, trying to pull on your knowledge of all of the different languages that you know, Nora, trying to piece together any element. You're just coming up with, like, you keep, like, almost like not an acronym, almost like a palindrome, trying to write it forwards and backwards, trying to write it upside down.
I thought it might have
Whatever this is, just isn't making sense to you.
Okay, yeah, I haven't looked at Nora's book yet. I was gonna ask, but I haven't looked at it yet, so.
Would you like to look at my journal? I found one as well.
Oh, can
And
I
I'm going
look at it?
I'm going to share. Look at all this information.
Okay.
Oh wow.
Oh, cool.
I'm glad.
Look
you
at
found
all
it.
this information.
Oh, look at all of this. How similar and not similar is this book compared to the ones that I very thoroughly perused for like a week straight
Sprites.
with the sprites?
What do you mean by how similarly? Are you talking
like,
about handwriting? Are you talking like what elements are you talking about?
So like obviously like does it seem like they were doing similar experiments, similar tests? Were they getting similar results, not similar results? Are they using the same like equipment, same I mean, I guess handwriting, but I don't think it would be the same handwriting because we killed everybody in that place. So this dude, unless this dude somehow escaped, which I don't think he did.
I don't think he did.
We killed a lot of people.
Yeah. Plus, he said that he's had this 6 months or more.
True.
So, just like any like major similarity, minor similarities.
Make an intelligence check and an investigation check.
Okay. Investigation. Okay, intelligence. 18. Investigation though. 22. Yeah, 16 plus 6 is 22.
Both of you coming through, or no, not both of you, both of your eyeballs coming through this. There are a lot of similarities when it comes to experiments, when it comes to just general writings, what elements that you can relatively decipher. Primarily what you're doing right now is going through the pictures and various illustrations. It feels childish in a way, the way you bounce from picture to picture to picture, but that's one of the things that remains consistent, that doesn't remain coded for you. And so bouncing around from the pictures, different anatomical positions, the sigils themselves, whatever was being done by these two individuals, by these two groups, whoever this person was versus whoever these people were, it's almost identical.
Okay, you said...
And you notice with your investigation check that there are similar handwriting elements on a few of the pages, from the loose leaf pages that you obtained. And in the notebook, the entirety of the notebook.
Does it look like those, if I was to pull out some of those loose pages, does it look like they would fit into this notebook?
No.
Okay, good.
No.
Well, not really, but like, okay, cool. One more thing. Now it's escaping me. So you said earlier that the circle was a little bit different than the ones in the Sprite notebook. You said it was just kind of like...
Yes. There are things that are turned to the side. Certain sigils are reversed. Some of them are in different places entirely. And some of them have been left out. Elements of them have been left out and new things have been added in.
Okay. So there was that sigil that Talavin, when she like flipped the page over and like folded it a couple times, it like created a symbol. And then when she showed that to Malik and Jasper went over and like erased this and added this and do. And it created like a dispelment sigil, right?
Essentially, yes.
So if she was to like start folding a couple of these like she did before, could she form like a new type of sigil like she did before? She just wants to like try a couple of the different pages, see if she can get anything.
Make an intelligence check.
Natural 20. 23. Because it can't be any further than
3. Trying to be careful, as this right here is a bound book. These particular, like all of the pages, you can't just separate them. But you are taking different elements, folding and bending, trying to not crease the pages too much. And some of them do align. The elements do fold and bend and twist into different patterns, different geometric shapes, which you recognize more clearly as sigils that other people have used originally when you were studying the Dispel Magics, the some of the other elements of canceling out a spell if it's being cast. A counter spell.
Counter spell is different than dispel. Ooh. I want counter spell so bad.
Oddly enough, you're finding all of these elements in this one sigil as you fold the paper.
I'm gonna as I form a new sigil, I write it down, I sketch it out, and then I'll keep going there. Then I find another one, just so that I can.
Nora's still there, by the way. She didn't hand over the book and walk away. Still there, mostly watching, but all.
Right, Nora, you're seeing all of these different sigils suddenly form as Talavin keeps messing with the page. It's like one of those crazy little bracelets. As you pinch in the middle, you can press on the outsides, you can fold the outsides inward, you can rotate them so it looks like a sunflower. You're watching this essentially happen as she's folding and bending the page.
Okay.
And both of you would notice, as you continue working with this particular notebook, you both simultaneously can glance up, just getting a view of the camp, as you've been staring at this page for what feels like hours and hours and hours. It probably has been. Fenaria has been a little bit on edge since you guys have been peeking around in that. Even though she's speaking with Talal and Jin for the majority of the day and the afternoon and the evening.
Yikes. I think that's good for now.
Alright.
Cool.
I'm gonna take that notebook back because I'm gonna sleep with it.
Yeah.
My
I keep mine.
bedtime story.
My bedtime stories.
Yes. Falling asleep with the quill and the thingy. Probably in her hand? Do we have pillows? I don't know. Under the pillow in the hand? I don't know.
I have an extra bedroll that I just roll up and put on my saddle.
Somehow finding a way to sleep with it without like that. Who sleeps like
I don't know.
Okay. Anyway. Yeah, that's the story.
Both of you end up drifting off to sleep. All the boys decide to take their turns for taking watch. Eventually, you two just slip into sleep.
I don't know if we're fast pacing this one again.
If you'd like.
Okay.
I mean, I don't. If you want to.
That works.
Because I was gonna definitely do my lightning again, but I was gonna definitely show Malik the journal, and then I was gonna mention the similarities of the journal between the ones that I have and the one that Nora showed me. I was gonna show him my journal, the different sigils that I saw were similar, and maybe just mention it just so that he's like, in case he gets any thanks about it that I'm not getting. Oh, and then I was going to see if maybe he could make out whatever fucking word this is that I can't get. Maybe his intelligence is more than mine. Come on, smart boy.
Smart boy.
My smart boy. Madison has to pull up the page. Oh, let me see.
But yeah, you end up going and speaking with Malik extensively about all of the different sigils, and his eyes just get very wide as you begin showing him, as you did manage to bring the book with you, all of the different ways that the sigils fold. This is a more complicated version. What are they doing? This. You end up showing him the word, which is the other thing that you said, right?
Yes. Come on, smart boy. No!
As he looks at it and just stares at it. He is not familiar with what this could possibly be.
Fuck.
He'll think about it, see what he can come up with.
Because it's just an intelligence check, and so like I think I rolled it. Like it's got to be higher than a 23, and I think both of us the highest we can get is a 23. What do you think Jasper says? Do you think Jasper can get it?
We'll find out.
Okay, cool.
Maybe.
There was actually one other thing that I forgot to do the night before, and but I wanted to show Bay that I was gonna create a tattoo, just like a lightning bolt, but like more like it almost looks like a faint cloud in the shape of a wolf with like lightning spiraling down and like a little stick figure of me screaming for help. No, I'm just kidding. No, I just wanted to show her the painting that I did of my mom with like Bay's silhouette around her. Yeah. Because I don't have a tattoo ready yet for her, so I'm gonna think about it, baby. I just wanted to show her that because I said that I was going to.
He glances at it and see her overall demeanor instantly closes off. Light dims. Tail sags. Her eyes just lock on
Opposite effect that
the figure.
thought she would like it.
And something you've never seen her do. She fades.
That was definitely the opposite effect I wanted. Alright, well. We'll definitely go with the no sentiment. Next time, god damn it.
That's okay.
Man, I worked really hard on that. I get good rolls for that one, damn it.
Yes, it's lovely. It's a lovely piece. Yes. So you have him look at what now? Nora?
Oh, that was for me. Okay, yeah. I was going to show him the book that I got, the journal, and the feather. If I was able to bring it.
You are able to bring both.
Okay, good for me.
Which one do you show first?
I'll show the feather first, because that's what he mentioned.
One look. His eyes get wide. Immediately, may I? Grabs it, strokes it, looks it left, looks right, spins it. Had dust on it, didn't it?
Yes, it did.
Those. I think I know what they're doing. He hands it back. May I see the journal? Takes it and begins looking through. Sees the various elements, flips more pages. So I'm going to have to think about some of these codes, but they didn't realize about sprite dust, that it's developmentally different. Pixie dust. Pixie dust is different on so many levels. It's meant for growth. It has various elements to it. They started, whoever it was, whoever helped write this, whatever it is that they're doing, they must have thought that pixies and sprites were interchangeable. That's not the case. They realized their mistake. He holds up he points. I think he gave it back. Yeah, he gave it back. He points at the wing. Says that is actually from a fairy dragon. known to be resistant to magic.
They're resistant to magic?
It wouldn't absorb any of the effects of the pixie dust. And therefore, gives optimal collection. Been dusting their wings. For what it might have something to do with this, I don't know, but I know that they've switched their objectives. They're not going after the sprites anymore. They're going after the pixies. They know that killing them isn't the solution. They have to keep them alive.
She said very strange. It's immune to magic?
So they're primarily going after the pixies now. So they just stumbled across a Haffa, and that's why.
Most likely.
Because they live in between. Okay.
Would be my guess, at any rate. Pure pixie dust has a great number of properties to it. It can be used as for elements of flying, or for letting somebody else fly, much like the children fables that humans tell one another. It could also, rumor has, it can be used as help create darkness, can help be creating light. It can be this source of energy. What are they going to do with it? Exciting. It's exciting. Goes over and actually clasps either side of your shoulder as he says this.
That's one way to put it.
Finally have a clue, finally have some kind of insight. Be excited and proud that you found it.
Glad I came across it. Yeah, that was all I had. Oh, I'm also going to tell him about the notebook that Talavin has. Like, yeah, just about the sigils and things that they're working on.
You're the one who has the book with the sigils.
Yeah, I just wrote them down in my journal.
Oh, I have the sigil book.
You have the sigil book. She has the ledger.
Had the ledgers and stuff in it.
Oh. Sorry, I misunderstood.
I just wrote down all the symbols in my journal so I could show Malik.
Gotcha. Okay, anyway, I'll mention her journal anyway.
What part? What? I mean, you say, oh yeah, she had a journal. What do you say?
Just like she had a journal that had some codes that we couldn't figure out, and I guess.
Can you elaborate?
She would have told me the key words that were there. Yeah, she would have told me those. Yeah, so
I would have just pointed out whatever I saw and then see if she could have helped me with that one word. And then I showed Malik when he couldn't help me, but we just don't know what the one word that's been brought up a whole bunch of times. We just don't know what it is.
Yeah, that. And then maybe, like, if Nora remembers what the one word looked like, or whatever symbol or whatever, she might try to, like, trace it in the air or in the dirt or something, but other than that, there wasn't much else to that book.
He looks at it as you write it out. As you're just describing this word, wherever that you saw it, he takes a look. Black breath.
Just breath?
Black breath.
Black breath.
Specifically, black breath.
That does not sound good. That sounds
Black breath.
that they're writing down in exchange for whatever they're taking up.
I mean, this is ancient draconic.
That doesn't sound. That sounds even worse.
Very, very old. And much of today's Draconic is actually, derived from the languages of old, but this here derives from some of the very fundamental, some of the very base words. And existence was originally thought into being.
So is he saying that they're using ancient Draconic for code?
Ancient Draconic. Black breath. So it's a type of weapon?
I don't know. It's based on these symbols here, what you're telling me.
Because that's what they're bringing down. Because they're sending people up, but they're bringing down the black breath on that boat.
Maybe.
No, that's what it says in the book. It says that the stuff like people, wood, tools is being moved up, but whatever's being brought down is what I couldn't understand, which is the black breath.
Oh, I didn't write that down. It's being brought down.
From.
Yeah.
Motherfucker, is there a giant ass dragon under my house and I never knew?
Brought down.
Is this something?
I have to write that as a quote that we heard. Is there a giant cuss dragon?
Under my house, I just never fucking knew, bro. Like, that thing's like a ancient, powerful. Super badass.
Yeah, so
Probably literally has black flames coming out of it. Like,
probably.
and they're literally sacrificing people to feed it, is literally what they're doing.
I hope not.
I'm pretty sure they
stink,
are.
Man, that would stink. Yeah, Nora's also going to mention how the other keywords around that one was that it was being brought down.
Is there anything else you want to work on while I process all of this? Need to consult with Malik. See what we can do about this.
Right. No. There's nothing else tonight. I think we'll be alright.
Right. Some rest, my lady.
Oh dear.
You eventually come back to consciousness. And within a day's travel, or most of the day's travel, you end up back on the same road you were originally on.
Alright. Back on track after that little side quest. That's nice. And going to Kinecardine. Kinecardine. Going back.
I assume you share all that information with Talavin when you wake up.
Yes, we definitely have a little powwow in the morning.
Yes.
I'll just help you make your tea and talk about, hey, that word means black breath.
Oh, dope.
Wow, and did you know this is from a fairy dragon?
No, that's super dope, bro.
I know.
And did I know that it's resistant, immune to magic? Oh, I do now.
Wow.
Wow.
You get back out onto the road, you will begin the relatively brief-ish trek to Kinecardine. The entire area has been completely deforested. The nubs and stumps, as far as you can see on to your left and your right, just above that hill that you all crested over, and down into this much lower part of the ground. You can imagine a once lush forest surrounding this lumber forged town. You all approach as the suns, at this point, you all have been traveling for a while. The suns are starting to set, just beginning their descent on the horizon. You'll ride up and approach. You can see where most likely there was a thick tree line that surrounded the town, giving this natural barrier, this protection that has been cut down completely. And the homes themselves have been debarked, and elements of them have been broken or torn away, leaving exposed interiors of these log cabin-like structures. The vast majority of these homes are constructed from logs, but they're built modestly. One story that you can see at most. And some of them are slightly peeled apart, as if someone had run a razor directly through, splitting the entire log all the way down, bisecting it, so that whatever it is that they require wood for can be satiated. People themselves seem to be keeping to themselves as you guys ride up. They're wearing simple clothes, some of them looking thinner in certain areas than others. And just a general glance about, you can see that there are some humans, there are some dwarves. And you can even see that there are a few half-elves walking about. We'll make it about 50, 60 feet into the town as you all are glancing, trying to find some kind of residence for the evening for you all to stay, when you hear, "Excuse me? It'll be your business." You see approaching are about half a dozen or so what look like more well-fed guards. Wearing armor, taller, broader, and all laying their hands ever so carefully on their short swords at their sides.
Man, you don't even want to know what the first thing that was about to come out of my mouth. Because it wasn't nice. I'm going to tell y'all anyway. I was going to literally be like, your fucking job apparently, since you're not going to protect your own people and your own goods. But Talvin's not going to say that because she's learning.
We're learning.
Learning.
Learning experience. It'll be a business.
Talvin's going to
Pick
keep
up.
her mouth shut.
We're travelers. We're passing through your town, hoping to stay here for a night or two.
Only a night or two.
Yes.
I mean, we're supposed to be here, so. But Talvin's not going to say anything.
Well, allow us to escort you to one of our 2 residence halls. You prefer to stay in the crossed blades with the hunting maiden?
Either is fine. Either is fine.
The hunting maiden it is.
That's a cool name.
As they begin walking, you see that some of the guards are male, some of them are female, and they begin escorting your entire group through the town. Dirt road crunches underneath of the hooves of your steeds as you all just trot through.
Side note, since this was as far as we were taking our prisoner, we kicked him off, like, before we hit the town. We were like, "Oh, look, there's the town. All right, you're on your own. Bye, buddy." I handed him 5 platinum and told him to fuck off.
Okay, absolutely.
We're keeping Kiwi.
Yeah, we kept Kiwi. He can fuck off. And I'm going to look him dead in his eyes. I hand him this 5 platinum, and I was like, "Don't ever let me catch you stealing shit again. Fucking bet."
Oh no, I won't be stealing nothing. yes, you are taken to the Hunting Maiden, this shotgun-style house. Just this very, very long, what would in modern day essentially be this motel-like area. There are several doors on the outside and a place on the center where you go in. He opens the door for you, steps off to the side. The stables are around back. Not to wander far. He and the rest depart.
Talavin's lips are like pressed together super tight. Just
A
trying
thin
to keep her
line
mouth
across
shut.
her face. Razor thin lips.
Alright, I guess we're going
After they finally leave and are out of earshot, she just like, did anybody else just like not like that treatment? I don't know, kind of like itchy skin over here.
You did very well, Talavin.
Jacob looks, he's like, no, but I can see you're not used to it.
I don't like his tone. I didn't like it. Oh, repercussions.
Certainly is a bit odd.
Yeah, no. Whenever you step inside, you see that the place is less of a tavern and more of a temporary place to sit. There doesn't seem to be any primary kitchen in this particular establishment, or perhaps there was at one point. But you do not smell or hear the sounds of food preparation currently being had. As you watch this woman who has this just jet black hair, it just comes down in these bouncing curls and waves all the way down past her shoulders. Part of it is currently tied up from almost like a headband and from about halfway through her head back in this slight bandana. She is heavily pregnant as she comes walking out holding her side / back with her one arm. And you can see that there is an eye patch over one of her eyes. She comes walking up and around to the ledger. Can I help you?
We would like a couple nights for the night, if you don't mind.
A couple nights.
Couple nights. Absolutely. Goes over, begins messily left-handed, starts scribbling in this what looks like a ledger book. Names?
I'm Scarlet.
And I'm Raven.
Scarlet. Jacob and Wyatt both glance at each other. Jacob and Wyatt.
I thought they stood outside.
No, Zoom's outside.
Oh.
Damn it.
She finishes writing and she... all in one room?
Two.
Two, of course. Bends down with some effort, grabs the keys, bends back up and sets them on the counter. Take care of yourself.
Thank you.
Rooms are adjacent over there.
Do we owe you money?
All right. Sorry, I just started this. That's 2 nights. That'll be 40 gold for the lot.
I'll give her 5 platinum pieces.
I can't accept all of this here.
It's fine.
No, you should keep this. Pushes back the 1 platinum and takes the other 4 and puts it in the count underneath.
Okay. Curiously, as she's like writing, this eye patch there like scars above, below the eye patch that I can see? Like, does it look fresh, new? Does it look pretty new or look pretty
It
old?
looks relatively new.
Does it look like it was made by, like, a sword or something terrible? Or, like, a burn scar? Or, like, does it look, like, clean? Or does it look like Jack, like, what's it look?
Describe.
Just maybe.
Serrated.
What?
Slightly serrated.
Like, it doesn't look similar to, like, mine.
Like a saw. It's Lumbertown.
Oh.
I'll go back outside. Zoom is currently in the process of managing the horses. White and Jacob both help him. He's like, well, we'll meet up in your room to take the stuff.
Oh, cool. I give Warrior a little scritchy nose scritchy, and a kiss.
Snorts in your face as he's being led away.
Oh, I love you. Even if you don't love me back, it's okay.
Tail swishes.
Yeah.
Saunters off. The rest. At 15 or so minutes, 15, 20 minutes later, and you step into the rooms, there are only 2 cots. Poorly made, poorly kept, although the sheets are folded down in some semblance of hospitality. There's no formal water closet, unfortunately. But there is a changing divider. Eventually, Jacob, Wyatt, and Zoom all come into you all's room just to make sure that they have all of their things before the boys head off to theirs. At which point, Wyatt, as soon as they shut the door, he just immediately hood up, arms folded. He's like, anyone else getting the weirdest vibe off of this place?
Yeah. Yes. Did you not see my whole demeanor earlier?
That's kind of how I see you normally, so no.
Whatever. Fine, buddy.
Yeah. No. What is going on here?
His ass.
My guess is an unequal distribution of authority.
Something's going on. I don't like it here. I don't like it here.
Seems like a job for all of us to fix it. Why would Nessie send us here?
Don't know, but she said she just wanted us to take accounts of the place. But I don't know.
What does that mean? Take
I
account?
don't know.
You pull out the note
Oh, no.
and reread it.
It didn't say
Your relative refresher, just to make sure that you remember everything that's in the note.
Okay.
Greetings, Talavin and Nora. Apologies for the late notice, but I am calling in one of those favors, or both if you both decide to go. I'm currently detained in other business, and I need some accurate accounts and fresh eyes on the scene. Something is going on in the north, specifically with 3 neighboring territories. Kinecardine, Violand, Darkala. If you could get over there and keep me in the loop, and do what you can. Thanks.
And do what
Nessie.
you can. Thanks.
And that's the key phrase.
Yeah.
So
But also, how do we keep her in the loop? Because I don't have that spell.
Nora's going to take the piece of paper that she wrote the note on, and it's going to take some ink on the back and just kind of like draw a line and see if it disappears. Or she could do not detect magic.
Oh, that's smart.
I'll roll an Arcana check on the paper first to see if it's like.
Okay, roll an Arcana check.
Is it magic paper? Do we? I don't know what.
Can I roll?
What's magic again? How does one magic? I got a 10.
I can try.
10.
I rolled a 21.
Begin looking for the faint shimmering, some kind of element to the parchment itself in your hands. And after about 2 seconds of glancing at it, Talavin, you notice, yes, this is enchanted paper.
Oh dear. It's magic paper. Maybe do your thing where you write on stuff and see if it...
Kind of suspicion.
See if she writes back.
Alright. Gonna write the note to Nessie, like initial encounter.
In Kinecardine.
Yes, in Kinecardine.
Super cold. Terrible here.
Yeah, just like bullet points basically. Made it to Kinecardine. Odd situation. A lot of people are uncomfortable. Not uncomfortable.
Don't like newbies.
Yes, suspicious of outsiders. Still looking into it.
Watch the ink on the paper fade.
Yep. Nessie. Check your notebook.
And about 20 minutes later, very familiar scratching sound. You watch as letters begin appearing on the back of the page. Any other suspicious behavior? What are the people doing? Do you see anything else out of the ordinary?
Ran into some bandits outside of the town, attacking the lumberjacks. Lumberjacks said that they had orders from places in the north?
No, I think they said the town next to it.
Like mass amounts of lumber needed in neighboring towns?
Ink fades. Before reappearing, saying how many trees are gone.
Fucking all of them, bro. Like hundreds.
Just the demeanor of the people.
Very
Any suspicious behavior.
let's see.
Well, how did the people seem when we were walking through? Just like standoffish?
Passive insight.
Insight is +7. 18.
19.
On D&D Beyond. I'm just kidding. Actually, they have that for you.
So you said 17 and 19?
18 and 19.
18 and 19. Initially, you saw that everyone was... There was this element of reservation. Thinking back, what was in their eyes was different. It was fear.
Of us? Or the guards?
Apprehension. Hard to tell.
Oh, hard to tell if it was after the guards. Probably. Yeah. Or both. That's the thing.
What about those people that we met originally? That we saved? Well, their demeanor was like, it was kind of skittish, wasn't it?
It was skittish.
And they were like, we need to get back to town right now. Like, oh, thank you, but we need to leave right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'll make sure I mention that too. And I'll just be like, they seem apprehensive, fearful, but we really couldn't tell if it was us or the guards that immediately came up to us and was like, let me escort you to this tavern. Please leave in 2 days, like you said.
Mm-hmm.
Initially, you just get back one word. Troubling. Preceded by a few more words, which you guys try to talk to some of the locals, figure out what's going on. Thanks, Nessie.
So about what time is it? It's nighttime now, right?
It's nighttime. It's the dark time. Sleepy time.
Okay. Gotcha.
If I just like kind of night watch a little bit out the window, is there like a patrol going on? Are people kind of, once it gets dark, do people kind of like immediately disperse?
You glance outside. There are no windows in this particular place. You have to open the door.
I'll peek out. Yeah, I'll just kind of like open it up, like open it, but like be on the same side as like where it's open, so I can just like kind of be looking out just enough where I can like see, but not make it super obvious. Hopefully.
Barely glancing outside, there are patrols. See people carrying lanterns, walking around different buildings, different windows, peering in to some of the residents.
The guards are peering into the residents' homes. Have we ever seen that
From what you can
before?
see.
I don't feel like I've ever seen something like that before.
No, this is
These people are fucking sketch here.
It's almost like they're prisoners.
Do the homes look like shuttered at all? Like they're actively trying to keep people away from their home, or like out, or like from being able to peer in at all?
Oddly enough, there are no shutters. There are only light curtains on the inside.
Interesting. Are there any lights in any of the houses around?
Some of them are very dimly lit from what you can see where you are. This is with your dark vision, and generally you're actively looking, but you're passively just sitting there. So this is based on your passive perception of
That's fine.
just noticing what's going on over the course of an extended period of time.
Is there enough room for Nora to do that too? Or is there like enough room because it's like a little peak?
If you sit, yeah.
I'll sit.
Wait, do you guys stay up?
Just like maybe 2 hours. Just to get like a feel for it. Do I feel like there's like a lot of guards on patrol? Like, does it seem pretty like evenly timed? Like there's like a circle, or maybe does it feel like there's somebody specifically keeping track maybe of like where we are, since they seem pretty adamant about us?
Oddly enough, yes.
Oh dear.
Are the guards wearing a uniform?
Simple leathers. They weren't wearing anything like chainmail or anything like that. But they all did seem to have the same setup of pauldron, breastplate, side weapon, relatively standard issue.
Okay.
And then you said that the people in general just kind of looked, I don't mean like unkept, but like you said that there was a significant difference between like the townspeople, what they looked like, and then these guards, you said, because you specifically mentioned they looked healthier. So
There's
like,
a difference.
like the townspeople look like, to get like as a whole, there wasn't really like a lot of variety. They all just looked kind of like overworked.
Mm-hmm. Well, slip into bed. Zoom has kind of set up his own makeshift cot on the ground, at the foot of your all's beds. Eventually, yeah, Jacob and Wyatt went to their rooms, although generally through the wall, you can just automatically feel their unease.
They sound like they're arguing at all over there. I was to like creepily put my ear.
You hear some muttering. Just back and forth talking. Just a little bit of muttering.
Is Is Finaria okay with all of the trees being cut down?
Who?
Finaria, the pixie?
Oh, Finaria. I thought you said Kinaria. I was like, who's Kinaria? Finaria, for the most part, hasn't peered too much out of the bag until you all come to a stop, and Jin and Talel and Finaria both, or all three of them, pull the moss out and lay it on top of the bag and just sit there conversing. When it came to the interaction of everything that happened, they stayed very quiet. Overall, she just seems uneasy. She's trying to get better quickly so she can probably go home.
Makes sense. Yeah, Nora's not happy about the deforestation. That's so sad.
I'll drift off to sleep. And again, for relative brevity's sake, if you guys want to do anything quickly, you can go ahead and do that.
There was actually one other thing that I forgot to mention to Malik the day before. So I wrote down for the word that I couldn't understand. I just wrote. Okay. So there was two things that I couldn't understand. One of them was the black breath, and then the other one, there was another abbreviation. There was human, and then there was half, but it didn't really say what that other half was. And I don't know if, maybe, he has some ideas about it,
He didn't have any ideas of this particular thing. Whatever half seems to indicate, since it's near human, you often see them close-ish together. You might assume that maybe it means part human or half of something humanoid, possibly, but he doesn't know.
If I mentioned to him the black breath part the next night, I'll mention that to him, that unless, of course, I'm sure Jasper mentioned it to him, but in case he didn't, I don't know how much they chat. I just assume. I don't know, y'all check up every day. I don't know.
Have tea every day.
Hey!
Y'all just hey buddy.
What's up?
But mention that, and then I want to research half creatures. Maybe I could find if I'm sure he's already, but what would, is there something, is that a weapon? Is that a creature? Oof, I need to know. I need answers.
He's not familiar with black breath.
I was going to ask Malik to maybe look into, since I don't know if I don't know if he has a map or whatever, but I guess he has, I assume he knows my general area. But I was gonna ask him to maybe look into those people being transported. I don't know, just see if he can glean anything from that. Maybe how many, if he can find out how long that's been happening, how often it happens, maybe type deal.
I'll see what I can do. But usually such things are kept close to the collar and secret. Might take some time.
I mean, if it even does correlate with my brother at all. If these people are being transferred back, like I assume.
See what I can do.